I think there's sort of two elements to that. The first one is a better understanding of how policies that we see get chosen and how that relates to the institutional environment in which they're determined, whether they're determined, for example, in a democratic policy setting or a non-democratic setting. It gives us a better understanding of where policies come from. The second thing is it gives us a sense of what makes policy work effectively. What are the preconditions for policies to actually achieve the goals of those policies? And I think we've really created a much better understanding within economics now of how policies both emerge and become effective. So political cycles emanate from the fact that there's decision-making, particularly in democracies, is governed by an electoral process, and therefore we see political cycles around when elections are occurring. But also, some elections have different features. For example, it may be that the incumbent that makes decisions in this electoral cycle can't stand for office again. And in some of my early work on the United States, I looked at governors in the US states that could or could not be re-elected. And in that work with Ann Case, we found that electoral cycles could be related to the political incentives of the incumbent governors. So in my work with Torsten Persson, we identify state capacity as the bedrock, if you like, on the basis of which effective government policy is determined. What drives state capacity is having a way of creating common interests around the need to create states that serve the interests of all citizens, not just particular groups, for example, ruling elites. We argue that that's very important to understanding levels of development, because without a strong and effective state, there are many things that government cannot do to support the welfare of the citizens of the country they govern. And so we see state capacities built on the back of common interests as a very central driver of why some states become effective and therefore can support meaningful economic development. Not just economic development that raises incomes, but economic development that distributes the benefits of that growth across a wide spectrum of citizens through investing in public programs.